Hi friends, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with an unhaul video. Let's jump right into it. As you know, I am no stranger to unhauling books. I really have curated my shelves to be either things that I'm very excited to read and or things that I loved. So there's a couple books that I have read and or DNF'd recently that I just figured I would move off my shelves. Then I did a look over of my shelf and realized that there was a couple books on there that I didn't think I was ever going to read anymore. And a few of these I read the first two chapters, and realized they just weren't for me. So these books are going to head out the door. In a recent unhaul video, I had somebody asking me where these books go. They go to Goodwill, they go to the veterans, they go to multiple different charity shops, and then the rest go to family, friends that are local and want to pick them up or get them. I thought about for a while maybe setting up like a Depop or setting up somewhere to sell these, but I don't know that that is a good use of my time to go to the post office repeatedly and do this. So I'm hesitant to start something like that. If there is ever anything in an unhaul that you see from me that you are desperately looking for, or has been on your TBR, or will complete a collection or something of that sort that you are desperate to get your hands on, maybe reach out in a comment, or my email is always listed in the description box down below. Shoot me a message if it's something that you're desperate for. And if I haven't already taken it to donate, we can discuss something. But for the most part, these just go. And I only deal with like US shipping because I just don't have time for anything else. It's a lot. It's a lot. So this is what's going to leave my house. Let's start with things. First up, you're going to see this one in a wrap up soon. I read Behold the Bones by Natalie C. Parker. I read Beware the Wild by her last year and enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 3-star, and then this one I saw and I was like, oh, I'd be interested in continuing. It follows the same storyline, the same town. It's like a magic swamp. There's magic. It's, you know, it was a cool setting the first time around. This time around, I did not care. I think I read the first 60 pages and then I skim read till 200. And by skim, I mean I skipped giant chunks, and I just don't, I'm not going to read it. So it's going to go. In a wrap up very soon, you will see me discuss dress codes for small towns. If I haven't already, did I already? Yes, I already talked about this. I didn't love it the way that I wanted to, the way that I hoped to, so I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this for somebody else who might enjoy it more. I don't think it's one that I need to keep on my shelves. Similarly, I will be getting rid of White Stag by Cara Barbary. I still don't know how to say it. I didn't love it enough to keep it. I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I actually liked the different take on fae-ish, you know, realms. I liked that it was goblins who kind of took on fae-like qualities, but then also were distinctly goblin-y. But some of the plot lines fell apart for me, but it is still really interesting. I just don't think it's something that I need to keep on my shelves, and somebody else might love it a lot more than I did. Again, I didn't dislike it, it just wasn't a standout, and I'm only keeping standouts, so it's gonna go. Next, and I'm gonna make this really quick, this is one that if you're really still looking for it, I guess let me know. This is the Owl Crate edition of Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, oddly enough. This is the Owl Crate cover, but the regular edition of the book, because I pre-ordered this. And I got it personalized. So I got a signed personalized copy, and then I swapped out the regular dust jacket for the Owl Crate dust jacket. So it's signed and personalized to me, and I've never read it. And not only have I never read it, but I'm not going to read it after all of the drama that came about recently with this author and their problematic comments and ways, and I don't agree with their standpoint at all. I don't stand for like hate speech or derogatory speech, and I also, this has been sitting on my shelf since 2019 and I have never wanted to pick it up, and I realized like I was never going to pick it up. I kept letting it sit there because I was like, yeah, it's signed and it's personalized, and you know, I'll just keep it. Eventually maybe I'll get around to it, but at the end of the day I never wanted to pick this up, and now I'm definitely not going to. So I don't care if it's signed and personalized, it's gonna go. And then I picked this up at BEA or ALA, I don't remember what, but this is the ARC for The Ruthless Gods. And this one came out April 2020. I haven't read it, and it's been a year because I haven't read the first one, and it was a year before that. So, yeah, I know a lot of people really, really wanted this, and it was coveted at those events, and I was like, no, I'm going to take it because I'm totally interested. And no, I'm not. So they're going to both go. One that really bummed me out is Blood Magic by Tessa Gratton. This is Tessa Gratton. I believe it's her debut novel. I'm not 100% sure. This one follows witches, and it's like it's a witchy tale. But this follows blood magic, which I don't have a problem with inherently. They do have to use their magic, activate their magic, which is all fine and good. But the parents in this died in a supposed murder-suicide. The brother and sister are traumatized after that. And then they find out that they can do magic by, like, spilling blood. A new kid moves into town whose mom used to do this, and he thought he was just, like, remembering things oddly as a child, but then he sees this girl in the cemetery doing it, and he's like, oh, maybe I wasn't crazy. And there's some comments in this that gave me pause. Now, granted, this is a 2011 release, but it said he sees her in the graveyard. She's using blood. She's cutting herself to create a cut to, like, spark her magic. And he says, maybe she was just a dumb cutter. Or maybe it was an accident. I don't know enough about her. And I'm like, don't say she's a dumb cutter. Anyway, and then this same girl whose parents died in a supposed murder-suicide, which at the time I stopped reading this book, I don't know if that's true or not. I got to page like 75, maybe a little bit further. The guy that's supposed to be the main love interest is talking to a friend of his about her, and he's like, she's gorgeous. And he's like, the friend's like, not compared to before. And he's like, before what? And he's like, you know, before the summer of her parents. And he's like, I nodded like I knew, but I still hadn't asked anybody the details beyond what I'd read on the internet. Guy, his friend, goes, she was hot and eager, man. A few of us were looking forward to her brother going away to college. But then, with her parents, she dropped like 20 pounds from all the wrong places, you know, and hacked off all of her hair and stopped flirting. I can't really blame her, but now she's just bony like a skeleton. And the guy goes, I guess I'm lucky not to have the comparison, he said, but I knew I preferred her current incarnation. Not only did you allow your friend to body shame this child, who had severe trauma that caused her to lose weight because she probably couldn't eat. But then you went, oh, I'm glad I don't have any comparison, but clearly I prefer her skeletal. Ew. Ew. I love Tessa Gratton's Strange Grace. But this, I got 75 pages in and went, like, what, how? What and how? I'm not reading this. I had the second book. They didn't match. I got this at a half-price books, I think when I was in Texas. I'm unhauling both of them. I'm not going to read that. Then I have some arcs, but let's get into these ones first. I tried to read The Swap and couldn't get into it, and I don't think it's going to be for me, so I'm going to let it go. I just could not get into it. This does have a letter from the author. I don't know if it's signed. I always put the book plates in here. No, it is not. But yeah, I couldn't get into it. Then I have Look by Zan Romanoff. I tried to read this. I started it and got like 25, 30 pages in. And we have very rich children. We have the drama of Instagram influencers. And while that's very valid, and this is for somebody, it's not for me. I don't care about your horrible life in the Hollywood Hills. I can't. I also tried to read The Space We're In. This is a middle grade, and this is about a young boy who is trying to cope with his younger brother's autism. I believe he's nonverbal. He has to deal with the fallout of his brother having these emotional, overwhelming moments in public, and the mother having to pull the child from those situations, and then he therefore misses out on situations that he wanted to be involved in. And then there's some trauma in the family and they have to cope, and he starts to learn how to accept his brother for exactly who he is, and they become closer. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I tried to start reading it and I just am apparently not in a middle grade mood, but this one was not connecting with me, so I'm going to let that one go. Similarly, this one is about a 13-year-old whose twin sister is neurodiverse. So this is also like a middle grade young YA. And this one is following a girl who is neurotypical and then a twin sister who is neurodiverse. Something about like the friendships breaking up, and this is a story of friendship, sisters, forgiveness. It's an achingly honest portrait of a young girl trying to find space to be herself. Again, I believe that this has a place, but I believe that this has a place with a reader who maybe is neurodiverse, who wants to see this representation in a middle grade. I tried to start reading it and I just wasn't connecting with it. Again, I think it's a me problem, not a book problem. I'm just not in a middle grade mood. Then we have, oh gosh, this thing. We have Dark August, which is by Katie Tello. This was, I guess this came out in June of 2020. It is a thriller. It's a small town corruption, murder, mayhem in the vein of Sharp Objects and All the Missing Girls. It's a twisty debut, and I believe that this one also has like case files and an investigation, and it's kind of like policey driven, maybe, I don't know. I tried, it didn't happen. Again, apparently I'm in a fantasy mood this year and thrillers just kind of aren't cutting it. Who knew? Not me. The Mall by Megan McCafferty. This one, a lot of people had really high hopes for. I had high hopes for, and then I never picked it up. I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and the people that I have heard talking about it, that this is like their kind of book, didn't love it, so I'm not going to keep it. I didn't even try to read that one though, to be fully honest. And then the last one up is Sarah Smith's Simmerdown. This one is about dueling food trucks, and I believe this is a diverse book. It's about a Filipino food truck. I don't know if the main character is Filipino. Maybe. They're in Maui. I'm not digging the contemporary romances lately, and out of the ones that I was keeping ones that's premise appealed to me. And food trucks don't appeal to me. Like, the premise of this didn't appeal to me anymore. And I'm just not in that like contemporary romance vibe. So I decided this one can go to somebody else that maybe can use this and, you know, can connect with the Filipino aspects of this book. So I'm going to pass it along in case it could be something that somebody else really, really appreciates. So that's the stack of books that I'm getting rid of. 14 books. 14 books are going to go. It's not my biggest unhaul, but they were just things that were sitting around that I decided, oh no, wait, there is one more. There is a 15th. Hold on. Hold up. Wait for it. There is a 15th book, and it is a doozy. I actually held on to this for a really long time because it was a gift, but I am never going to fully look through this, and it is a pricey gift. But I don't think I need it in my life anymore. This is a $80 book. And it is Harry Potter, Page to Screen, The Complete Filmmaking Journey. And this is like everything about the filmmaking of the Harry Potter movies. But I don't support J.K. Rowling. I don't think that that means that you have to get rid of everything that you own, or everything that's sentimental to you, or everything that means something to you in the Harry Potter universe. But this book was a Christmas gift for Pollyanna, and while I totally looked through it at the time, I have never read this and will never read this probably cover to cover. I don't have, like, it's a table, it's like a coffee table book, right? And I don't have a coffee table that I'm going to put this on anymore. So this is going to go as well. It is a chunker, and it's cool. There's a lot of artwork in here, a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of like actor interviews, photographs and documentation of like sets and stuff, but like I don't need it. So it is so heavy. That's gonna go too. So 15 books are gonna leave my house and go to somebody else. That's gonna be it for this unhaul. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more exciting videos. I have book news coming up soon. I have like other opportunities and cool stuff coming up soon. So just stay tuned in general. Never know what you're going to get when you come here. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends. God, this is seriously so heavy.